Hi, everyone. I'm Rosemary Miller here with Robert Kolt, a professor at Michigan State University Emeritus, here to tell us all about Super Bowl advertising. Thank you so much for joining me today, Robert.
Well, thank you, Rosemary. It's going to be a great year for Super Bowl ads.
I imagine it will be, especially with Taylor Swift there. I mean, how will she impact advertising?
I think if they play drinking or eating games during the game, every time they take a shot of Taylor Swift, someone should take a shot or a bite of a chip or something. They will be full by the end of the game.
It will be full. Well, can you discuss the impact of Super Bowl ads on brand visibility and recognition?
Well, Super Bowl Sunday is like Oscar night is to the film industry. It is the biggest advertising day of the year. The best ads, the most creative, biggest cost productions, celebrities, animals, they all come out to create the best ads of the year, and they really do drive sales for a lot of products during the year. So people always ask me, is it a good return on investment to spend to spend $7 million for a 30-second spot? The answer is easy. Yes, it pays off. It pays off in sales. It pays off in image and branding. And big companies do it because it works.
So, could Super Bowl ads ultimately end up harming a company in any way?
Oh, sure, if you do a really bad ad, and we've had some really bad ads in the past, but the measurement of evaluation has kind of changed because over time we used to just have a Super Bowl ad and you would expect sales to increase. Now there were a lot of awareness ads where an ad would come on and it would make you sensitive to a topic. Like we have an anti-Semitism ad this year in the Super Bowl. We have a Jesus ad again. That group has been in. So they're making you awareness. They're not really selling you anything. But for advertisers who are paying money to sell products, they don't, if you see a BMW commercial, you're not going to run out and buy a BMW within 5 minutes. It's going to take some time. So that brand impact has to stay with you and be memorable long after the game. And what do the advertisers say? They say it works. It sticks with people. It's the Super Bowl, with the ratings probably being north of 130 million worldwide, will be the biggest viewed television advertising event of the year. They always are. So with that kind of audience across all demographics, why does an 8-year-old girl watch the Super Bowl? Well, it's a party, and they watch for the ads, and maybe the halftime show, and there's a lot of other things going on, and it's not necessarily a football. I will tell you that the day after the game, people will forget who won the Super Bowl and probably remember their favorite ad.
I do remember last year, two ads come to mind. It was Coinbase, and they had the QR code just floating across the screen, and I believe they were giving away a few dollars in crypto. And FTX, after the major fall of FTX, everyone remembered that Super Bowl ad.
People have made bad ads. They happen, but they can be iconic. And again, there is a different form of measurement. For instance, if you just want exposure and awareness, you will get your money's worth in the Super Bowl. But if you need engagement, you need someone to go buy or click on a website or actually take that QR code and do something. What's a different scale? And it's tougher. Some people might not be ready. They might not prepare for it, or maybe they're not just interested in making an immediate decision. Nobody makes an immediate decision to buy something during the Super Bowl. But there have been CEOs that report great sales from the Super Bowl. I'll tell you the story a few years ago when Eminem did a spot for Chrysler. Chrysler's still on us. The CEO was Italian, and they did this wonderful, beautiful spot made in Detroit, driving around the city. And then they ended up the beautiful Fox Theater with a choir. What a beautiful spot. Well, he said, the CEO said, it resulted in $400 million of unanticipated sales. And he just said, boy, if I knew the Super Bowl was going to be that effective, I would have featured a better car. and they had a lot of better cars, but they featured the Chrysler 200 and they had the 300 and other things. But, it pays off for people in a lot of ways, branding and also sales.
So how has the rise of digital media, social media, how has that impacted Super Bowl ads?
It's great. It actually expands the audience and people see ads multiple times. I think people do recognize the kind of integration between art and science here and sales. They all kind of come together. That's what makes the Super Bowl a really unique tradition. You don't have to do anything. If you don't like an ad, okay, don't worry about it. But if it's there and it changes your attitude and motivates to change your behavior to do something you wouldn't normally do and creates awareness, wow, you have a winner. And there are specific Super Bowl formula ads that always work.
And how do companies tend to strategize and plan for the Super Bowl ads?
Well, they put a lot into it. Usually what happens is a lot of agencies start work a year before the next game. And when they think about it, they're thinking about what do we have to accomplish? What's the strategy? Who's going to be the hottest celebrity? This year they kind of took a step back in the past. Woodsdales will be back in the Super Bowl for Budweiser beer. Now, they haven't been around for a few years, but boy, we got those horses delivering beer in a snowstorm. And the formula really is if you get a celebrity, an animal of some kind, and in some way do something that's more emotive or emotional rather than just cognitive where people are processing information. The research says it's just going to be much more.
Well, Robert, is there anything else on your radar regarding Super Bowl ads that you believe should be on ours?
Well, there's no Detroit automaker in the game this year, and that's too bad. And the Lions obviously aren't there. It would have been weird if the Lions were playing in the game and the Detroit automakers weren't. But BMW has a great ad with Christopher Walken. There are a lot of other funny things that will be coming up. The comedian Kate McKinnon does this ad with mayonnaise, and every time she gives me a weird camera look, it makes me laugh. And that's what we want to do in the Super Bowl. At least, if you're not making a sale, make me laugh, and you'll be successful.
Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for joining me today, Robert.
Thank you.
Absolutely.